So like we give vaccination to our small children, or in fact, we are getting now corona vaccination to develop immunity against coronavirus. So we develop a lot of spiritual immunity to protect us from material influence.
And naturally become joyful.
And naturally become joyful. Thank you very much. The joy which everybody is searching for. Thank you. Yes, Preeti Mataji. Preeti Mataji. Yes, Aishwarya Mataji.
Regulated lifestyle.
Yes. Yukta ahar viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmashu. Gradually, our lifestyle become more regulated. And lot of problems like health problems, mental problems will disappear. The regulated lifestyle. Okay. Thank you very much. Preeti Mataji, you want to say something?
We learn that we have to introspect.
Yes. Can you elaborate on this point a little bit?
First, we have to know ourselves.
Okay, very good. That's why it's called self-realization.
Yeah.
In fact, it is true for our management also. First, manage yourself. First, self-management, then managing others. Without learning how to manage ourselves, we try to manage others. That is never successful. Okay? So first we have to do self-management, then management. Okay. Yes, Mahajan Prabhuji. You can bring down your hands. Others. Yes, you have to unmute yourself. You're not audible.
Yeah, you remain naturally happy and joyful.
Yes. You don't have to have artificial means of becoming happy. Like, can you give examples of artificial means of becoming happy?
If you read Gita and start thinking positive, you don't have to put anything artificial.
Yes.
Everything becomes natural and that gives you happiness.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Also, freedom from doubts.
Freedom from doubts. Yes. Yeah. So normally everybody has many questions in his mind. Even to the extent we are not sure, people are not sure God exists or he does not exist. No idea. Where have we come from? Where we will go? No idea. What is the purpose of life? No idea. Who is God? Who is demigod? No idea. Who are we? No idea. Is there only this universe or there are other universes? No idea. What is consciousness? No idea. What is soul? No idea. There are many doubts. But, all doubts will come to an end when you read Bhagavad Gita. No more, doubts in your mind. You'll have absolute clarity about yourself, about God, about relationship with the Lord, the purpose of life, how to deliver the purpose of life. In Gita, you'll study one verse in the second chapter. Vyavasayatmika buddhi eke hi kurunandana means you will develop Vyavasayatmika buddhi, like a businessman intelligence who is only thinking about how to earn money, how to expand his business, how to grow profit. His only thought process like that. Ekehi, only one goal. Similarly, you'll become one-pointed in your life. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasaya, you understand, no business. Your business will be how to deliver yourself from this material. One goal of life, not Bahushakha yanantascha. Normally people have many goals. Bahushakha means multi-branched with respect to career, with respect to family, with respect to this, that, car, bungalow, vagera. But after Bhagavad Gita, you'll have one goal of life, very focused. Very good. Wonderful. So remember most part. Any last point anyone would like to say before we proceed? Yes, Preeti Mataji.
We become emotionally stabilized.
Yes, we become emotionally stable. Means we do not get overwhelmed with small joys, or we do not become overwhelmed when we have some sufferings or problems in our life. You learn how to remain stable in both circumstances. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, can we move ahead now? Okay. So, what I speak, if you don't see on the slide, let me know. Otherwise, I assume that I'm moving slides and you're also able to see. Okay. So, what is the qualification to understand Bhagavad Gita? Very, very important point. Why it is important? Because there are many thousands of people who read Bhagavad Gita, but they can't understand what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. You know, in one of our local universities in Udaipur, so I used to meet the vice chancellor very frequently, and then he invited me for one Bhagavad Gita class they were running in their campus for professors, for their teaching staff. And I visited and attended one of the classes. So they have finished 11 chapters. Okay, every, I think, Wednesday they meet. And one of the Sanskrit professors take the classes. After reading 11 out of 18 chapters, there is not even an iota of transformation in their life. No difference whatsoever. Why? They don't know how to study Bhagavad Gita. Who is qualified to understand Bhagavad Gita? Even you will find many scholars who have memorized all 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, but they have not understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. It is a confidential knowledge which Krishna, if he wants to reveal, he will reveal. If he does not want to reveal, you may study Bhagavad Gita for millions of years. Krishna will not reveal the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So one needs to be qualified, or one has to acquire qualification to read and understand Bhagavad Gita, which Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. He tells Arjuna, Sa evayam mayate adaya yogaha prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etat uttamam. Rahasyam ka arth kya hota hai? What is rahasyam? Confidential knowledge, secret, gopniya tattva. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, I am explaining this rahasya, or the most confidential knowledge, to you because you are my devotee. Okay. That very ancient science of relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee, as well as my friend. And therefore, and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 3rd number verse. ठीक है जी? तो ऐसा नहीं कि हम कभी मन किया गीता खोले, पढ़े और समझ गए. ऐसा नहीं है. One has to acquire prerequisite qualification to get this knowledge revealed. Okay. So question is, who is devotee? Anyone would like to explain? What is this term devotee? I'm sure you must have heard this many times, but who is the devotee of Krishna? Yes? Anyone? You can guess also, no problem. एक एक करके वीडियोस बंद होते जा रहे हैं. Please keep your videos on. Yes, Aishwarya Mataji, who is a devotee? What is the term devotee?
I think when you are totally surrendering to Krishna, when you are when you are constantly having him in your mind in whatever work you do, be it anything, you're just doing it for his sake.
Okay, so when you completely surrender unto Krishna. Now you're right, but it is little difficult to understand what does surrender mean, in our practical day-to-day life. Correct? What is surrender? You're right. Krishna tells in 18th chapter, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam braja. Just take my shelter. I'll deliver you. So, but we'll try to understand a little more in a layman's language. What does surrender mean? Okay. Thank you, Shreya. Anyone else? What is devotion? Who is a devotee? Yes, Anshu Mataji. So I'll ask people whose videos are off first. Okay. Yes.
सर, भक्त वो हो सकता है जो भगवान की कही हुई बातों पर चले.
Very good. Who follows his instruction is a devotee. है ना? हम लोग हमारी सुबह गीता क्लास होती है every Sunday morning 9:30. तो उसमें हमने पढ़ा 3rd chapter में Krishna tells what happens if you follow my instructions and what happens if you do not follow my instruction. Both the things he has told in 3rd chapter. I will not reveal this now. But he is giving consequences of following his instructions and not following his instructions. So, right, one who follows instructions, he is a devotee. Okay, Preeti Mataji.
Those who walk on the path of truth and honesty.
Truth and honesty is a moral value. So one can be a good person, may not be a devotee. Devotion is beyond being just a good person. Remember, that's why Gita is special. In material life, normally we emphasize on these moral values. They are good, they are important. But devotional qualities are beyond material goodness. Okay? It is on transcendental level, beyond the realm of material good or bad. Okay. So you may not understand what I said, gradually you will. Okay. Thank you, Preeti Mataji. But yes, these are good qualities one should have, to start devotional life. Very important. They are Brahminical qualities. Okay, thank you, Preeti Mataji. Anyone else? Uma Mataji, yes. Unmute कीजिए.
जो अपने वाणी से, वचन से, अपने स्वभाव में स्थित रहे, whatever one is doing, thinking or talking is in the service of God.
Just come again.
One who is whatever one is doing or thinking or talking about is in the service of God all the time. Okay,
very good. One who is always thinking about Krishna, who has given his mind to Krishna, he is a devotee. Very good. That's also a very nice definition. So all of you are correct, right? So more practically, let's understand what is devotee. Prabhupada put it very simplistically. Devotion means loving service to the Lord. Simple. What is devotion? Loving service to the Lord. Now, how can we serve the Lord? With whatever we have. We have this body with different senses, eyes, nose, tongue, ears, head, legs, hands. So we can serve the Lord with this body We can serve the Lord with mind. We can serve the Lord with our intelligence. So different ways we can show devotional characteristics. Through body, mind, or intelligence. Okay. So we'll see some examples of, how do we serve through these. So Krishna is saying one who is actually engaged with me in this loving relationship, he is qualified to understand the secret of Bhagavad Gita. As simple as that. So you may study Gita for years and years, but you do not develop a loving relationship with this person called as God or Krishna, Krishna will not reveal this knowledge. Okay, ji? So this is called practical spirituality. Yeah. Spirituality does not mean inertia. Just sit idle. Go to Himalaya and simply meditate. That is not devotion. Okay? Devotion is practical activity. Practically engaging whatever we have, tan, man, dhan, in the service of Krishna. So one who has developed this loving relationship with Krishna, or who is trying to develop, who is sincerely trying to develop this relationship, is qualified to understand secrets of Bhagavad Gita. And secondly, as some of you put it, one who follows instructions. Whatever I speak are the instructions of Krishna. You can take it like that. Whatever I hear from my Guru, I take it as instruction of Krishna, because he will tell me only from what Krishna is saying in Gita or Bhagavatam. So whatever Prabhupada has written in his books are the instructions of Krishna. So if one tries to follow these instructions sincerely, like a very obedient student, naturally he is favored by Krishna to understand him. Krishna says, Bhakteya mam abhijanati. Only my devotee can understand me. Very simple. Suppose you meet somebody on the road, right? कभी मिले नहीं हैं आप उससे, लेकिन मिलते हैं तो ज्यादा आप उसको अपना नाम बताएंगे, है ना? I am Aishwarya Pai. That's it. You will not reveal everything about yourself to the new person, isn't it? Yes or no? You will not say, my husband is here, my kids are here, I have 3-bedroom apartment in this place, vagara, vagara. You will not share every information with him, no? You will simply say, okay, my name is Aishwarya. That's it. But gradually, when you develop good relationship with him, you start revealing more and more information about yourself, correct? After some time, the person will come to your place, you will sit, you'll become more friendly, you know he's trustable, then you reveal more information, isn't it? Then gradually, when relationship becomes more and more, loving and more intense, you share even more information. Similarly, the case with Krishna, when you develop intense relationship with him through service, like mother develops relationship with a child through service, isn't it? When mother serves a child in the night, during the day, whenever child wants it, then she develops a loving relationship with the child, correct? So relationship is developed through service. It is not, some hypothetical expression. No, it is practical service. Husband and wife relationship is developed when they serve each other practically, not just expect. Expectation leads to problems, right? Service leads to relationship. Okay. So when we serve Krishna practically, he reveals about himself. Oh, I am Krishna. I stay at this place. These are my opulences. These are my energies. This is how you can come to me. Everything Krishna will reveal. Making sense, Sunil Prabhu? Very practical, na? So what Krishna is expecting is very, very normal, which everybody can understand very easily. He is not expecting something which is beyond our ability. He says, whatever you have, You serve with that. No problem. Okay. Towards the end, Krishna will say, Patram pushpam phalam toyam. You don't have to be very rich to serve me. Even if you offer me a small flower with love, that is more than sufficient. Okay, flowers you don't have, serve me little water with love. Toyam means water. Patram pushpam. Patram means any leaf. Pushpam means flower. Toyam means water. Patram pushpam phalam, or maybe a small fruit. Get me a small apple. That's it. I am fine with that. Apple is very expensive, no problem. Get me banana. It's cheap. Okay. So whatever you can afford, just offer me with love, and then I'll sell you can purchase me. I'll give myself to you. You know, once Krishna was invited by Duryodhana for a royal lunch, Chappan Bhog. He refused. You know Duryodhana, why will he? He will not invite Krishna without any selfish interest. So he invited Krishna with some selfish interest. And Krishna knew. He did not go. He went to Viduri, Vidura's wife, Vidura's house. Vidura was not at home. So Vidura's wife saw Krishna has come. She became mad. And she wanted to offer something. Krishna has come home. She saw what is available. She picked up one banana. And she removed the peel of banana. And she was so lost, she threw the banana and offered peel to Krishna. जो banana फेंक दिया, जो छिलका भगवान को offer किया, without realizing, because she was completely lost seeing Krishna. And Krishna gracefully accepted the peel and ate. Krishna did not say, "Hey, what are you offering me, Viduri? Vidurain, what are you offering me? Have you gone mad or what?" You offer a banana, not the peel. But whatever she offered with love, Krishna accepted gracefully. So this is Krishna. Krishna is not, eyeing your property or your money or don't worry about this. Krishna is Bhava Grahi Janardana. He simply accepts the emotion behind what we offer. What we offer is not very important. The emotions with which we offer is more important. Okay, so when we are trying to cultivate this relationship with Krishna, Krishna will reveal himself. That is the essence of this slide. Okay, make sense? Ajendra ji, Rita Mata ji, make sense? Okay, so let's move ahead. So how do we serve practically? So one is serving through intelligence. How do we serve through intelligence? By studying these scriptures which Krishna has given us. Okay. How do we serve Krishna through intelligence? By actually giving time to study. This is also an austerity because everybody is so busy nowadays. Time in kisi ke paas nahi hai. But somebody is endeavoring to take out half an hour every day out of his very busy schedule to read Bhagavad Gita or the small books which some of you have received. This is service to Krishna through intelligence, because you need intelligence to function when you study books, correct? You can't switch off your intelligence and then, oh, let me read Bhagavad Gita. You have to serve Bhagavad Gita through intelligence. You have to contemplate on what you're studying. You have to think about how do I apply this in my practical life. Okay, so you should serve Krishna by studying these scriptures every day. This is first qualification. This is expression of genuine desire to develop relationship with Krishna. This is an expression to express genuine desire. Yes, Krishna, I am interested to develop relationship with you. ठीक है जी? This is through intelligence. Second is through mind. serving through mind. This we do through mantra meditation, और जिसको हम चैंटिंग बोलते हैं, जपा बोलते हैं. जैसे नाम से पता लगता है, मंत्रा मतलब जहां मन का काम है. है ना. मनहा त्रायते इति मंत्रा. मंत्र का अर्थ क्या होता है? मंत्रा मीन्स समथिंग विच डिलीवर्स आवर माइंड फ्रॉम वेरियस नेगेटिविटीज, फ्रॉम वेरियस अनर्थास, various contaminations. This is called, like you have seen snake charmer. If snake bites someone, they know mantras. With the help of these mantras, they can take out the poison जिसको सांप ने काटा है. Similarly, this Maha Mantra can take out all the poison which our mind has. It cleanses the mind completely. For mental hygiene, one should chant every day. So this is, and you have to focus your mind. You know, mantra meditation means you chant and then try to hear attentively what you chant. So you have to keep your mind stable, you know, while chanting process. So this is serving Krishna through our mind. पहला कौन सा था? Serving Krishna through intelligence, and now it is serving Krishna through mind. Okay. And what mind does, you can recite this very nice verse. I'll talk about it later, and who has written and from where it has come. It says, Cheto darpan marjanam Bhav Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairav Chandrika Vitranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Sapanam Param Vidyate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Why should we chant the holy name? Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust. Cheto darpan, majaram means cleanses. Darpan means mirror. Cheto means chitrupi darpan. Our heart is like a mirror which is currently full of dust, full of contamination. It is cleansed by Shri Krishna Sankirtana, or the Kirtan or chanting of the holy name, and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity. The biggest benediction of Krishna on the society, on the humanity, is the holy name at large, because it spreads the rays of benediction moon in the life of transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar of which we are always anxious. So, gradually, soon, you will realize chanting is the most important aspect of our life. अभी तो आपको इतना बताया नहीं है, पता भी नहीं होगा कि why is chanting so important. It is an integral part of our spiritual life. Most important aspect of our spiritual life is chanting of the holy name. Why? That session I'll take. Why it is so important. But as of now, you trust what I'm saying. Okay? Theoretically, you assume that what Madan Govind Das is saying is truth, and hence we should chant. And gradually I'll reveal. Maybe every class I'll talk about it, why glories of chanting of the holy name. Okay? Okay. And then how do we serve Krishna through our body? Right? One, very simple is simply pay obeisances with your body, with your head. And the purpose of head is to fall down at the lotus feet of Krishna. Okay? So use your head to pay obeisances. You may say, Prabhuji, this is very simple. Yes, it's very simple, but it is very powerful. Very powerful. Simply भगवान को प्रणाम करना is very powerful. It is beyond your imagination. Suppose, who has grown-up children here? Tell me. Rita Mataji and Prabhuji. Suppose your son comes and touches your feet. है रीटा माताजी, आपका बेटा आता है, आपके चरण स्पर्श करता है, तो आपके हृदय में क्या भाव आएगा? अनम्यूट करके बोलिए.
We always bless them.
So naturally your heart will be full of blessings. जीते रहो बच्चा, सुखी रहो. Yes or no?
Yes.
It is natural. So just imagine if you touch the lotus feet of Supreme Father Krishna, his heart will not be full of blessings. Very simple, isn't it? I'm not saying this. The last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about this. Glory of Pranam. Glory of holy name and Pranam. Last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses, not Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses, and the last verse talks about this. It says, Nam Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam, which means chanting of the holy name, one can destroy all his sinful actions, all sins, reactions. Pranamo Dukha Shamanas. And simply by paying obeisances, one gets rid of material pains. Why? Krishna is giving blessings. Sada sukhi raho. If he says Sada sukhi raho, कौन टाल सकता है भगवान की बात को? बताइए. यदि वो बोल दे ऐश्वर्या माता ये सदा सुखी रहो, बताइए राहु केतु क्या कर लेंगे? If he says सदा सुखी रहो, what can these planets, ग्रह क्या कर लेंगे? बताइए, कर लेंगे कुछ? If Krishna says सदा सुखी रहो. So this is the glory of touching throat, or paying obeisances to the Krishna. So at least 3 times pay obeisances every day. When you get up early morning, afternoon, and 1 time before going to the bed. Is it difficult? Will it cost money? Nothing. So all our solutions will be very cheap. Don't worry. We're not going to, ask you to spend a lot of money. No. एकदम सस्ते नुस्खे बताएंगे आप. Because this is Krishna's mood. Krishna is saying patram pushpam phalam toyam. So all our solutions will be like patram pushpam phalam toyam. Not very complicated solutions. हिमालय पे जाओ, ये करो, उल्टा लटक जाओ. No, कुछ नहीं करना है. Very बहुत simple, which you can actually do in your household life, in your busy professional life. You can easily carry out these activities. Okay. So पहला daily reading of these scriptures. Serve Krishna through intelligence. Second, daily chanting of the holy name, serving Krishna through mind. Third, serving Krishna through body. And one example we saw was simply paying obeisances to him. Okay. Second is, offer one flower. He is asking actually, patram pushpam. You can give him some flower. आपके बाग में होगा या आप लेते हो कहीं से. One flower will do, no problem, but with love. And that is the only condition to fulfill. ठीक है जी. It is like using your body to serve Krishna. Then other means could be, if you have deities, you have picture of Krishna at home, making a small garland for him. Very simple. One needle, thread, and few flowers. That's it. They might look small activities, but they can steal the heart of Krishna. Trust me. Very small activities, but very powerful. You can offer food to Krishna and then honor prasadam. Glory of prasadam we will understand in chapter number 3. Okay, why should we offer food and eat? So this is, you have to cook with your body and offer. This is offering body in the service of Krishna. So like this, there are many points. I'm not discussing all of them. I'm just talking simple things which you can start doing. Gradually, we'll discuss more things, what you can do. But start with this. Paying obeisances, offering flowers, and reading and chanting every day. Is that clear? We can move ahead. 1:27 ho gaya already. Time flies like. Okay. I don't want to rush because these are important aspects. I can finish entire presentation in 1 hour, but that may not give you desired benefit. आपको ये तो नहीं लग रहा है बहुत स्लो चल रहे हैं हम लोग? You're okay with this pace? Radhika Mataji? Okay. Next. So let's now come to Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So how many of you now have this book with you? Just raise your hand. Okay, very good. Dharmendra Prabhu, आपके पास नहीं है? You have. Okay. So, okay, ठीक है, सबके पास है. Anyone who doesn't have, then he can raise hand. That is better. किसके पास नहीं है, हाथ खड़ा कीजिए. सबके पास है. Wonderful. तो इसके ऊपर लिखा है His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Correct? ये लिखा है. It means this Bhagavad Gita is different from others. Why? It is as it is. It is original, without diluting the mood of Krishna, without diluting the learnings given by Krishna. When Prabhupada wrote this Bhagavad Gita, there were 650 editions of Bhagavad Gita available in the market. Already. But they were not helping people become devotees. They were helping become scholars. There are many scholars of Bhagavad Gita. You understand scholar, no? Who will come and recite verses like a Pandit and he'll impress you and you'll feel, oh, kya Pandit ji aa gaye? Sab kuch aata hai Bhagavad Gita ka. Sare shlok yaad hain. That is not the purpose of reading Bhagavad Gita. We're not here to become Pandit. We are here to become a nice, pure devotee of Krishna. Very simple, goal of this study. Okay, we are not here to impress people around us. We are here to only impress Krishna. And he is not impressed by our, expression of our ego or pride. He is impressed by humility, not pride. Okay. So this Bhagavad Gita is special, unique. And hence my strong recommendation, avoid reading other commentaries. Because there is author's personal opinion also added to Krishna's opinion. So it is not original. Okay, this is original, written by a pure devotee of Krishna, not by any professional or scholar. Okay. With me? Okay. Second, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Shrila. A.C. means Abhay Charan. His name was Abhay Charan. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Founder Acharya, so he is a founder Acharya of ISKCON as a society. Okay, so he founded ISKCON in 1966, more than 50 years ago. So when you open Bhagavad Gita, you'll find critics praise Bhagavad Gita as it is. Basically, testimonials given by very learned people across the world. Very well-known, famous universities, colleges, and many authors. Okay, so I'm not going to read them. You can read them in your leisure time. Okay. The next you can see Gita-Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita as it is. So Bhagavad Gita is also called as Gita-Upanishad. I hope you are making notes. आपको क्विज मिलेगा आज शाम को या कल को. And my request, please, everybody should participate. In last quiz, everybody did not participate. Some, I think 12, 13 of you participated, not everyone. So request everyone to participate. Don't worry about marks. I'm not recording marks anywhere. Now, you all are clear with distinction. In the beginning, I'm telling you. So there is no passing marks. So just the attempt. Because you get the answers also immediately. If something is wrong answer, you'll know the right answer immediately. Okay, so don't avoid this quiz. And then there's something known as Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust, BBT, what we call. So BBT is a wing of ISKCON dedicated to printing of the books. So this trust is primarily for printing of, because the many books Prabhupada wrote and different editions are getting printed and being sent across the world. So there is a separate body called BBT, Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust, wing of ISKCON, dedicated to print and distribute these books across the world. Bhagavad Gita, more than 500 million copies of Bhagavad Gita have been sold, distributed so far. Can you imagine? 500 million, 50 crores. And then Prabhupada has dedicated this Bhagavad Gita to Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan. He is one of our acharyas in our parampara, great acharya who wrote commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So Prabhupada is referred to commentaries of many acharyas, but primarily Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, and hence he has dedicated this book to this acharya. Okay. And then you can see contents, small summary of every chapter from 1 to 18. ठीक है, कभी आपके पास समय हो तो आप पढ़ सकते हैं उसको. You'll get flavor of what is there inside this chapter. Okay, so I'm not going to detail into this. Then comes setting the scene. What is the background of this Bhagavad Gita? Why was it spoken? Where was it spoken? What led to this war in which this Bhagavad Gita was spoken? There's a context given in this setting the scene. Okay, so I can maybe request Sunil Prabhu to read this setting the scene. आपका Bhagavad Gita है?
Prabhuji, I do have, but right now I have a Bhagavad Gita for different scholar. So
Okay, then you can. Anyone who all have this Bhagavad Gita as it is? Dharmen Prabhu, would you like to read? Okay.
Although setting the scene, although
Yes.
widely published, am I audible?
धीरे-धीरे पढ़ना है. Everybody can understand.
Although widely published and read by itself, Bhagavad Gita originally appears as an episode in the Mahabharata, the epic Sanskrit history of the ancient world. The Mahabharata tells of events leading up to the present age of Kali. It was at the beginning of this age, some 50 centuries ago, that Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to his friend and devotee Arjuna.
So Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. Okay, in the chapter called as Bhishma Parva. It's a part of Bhishma Parva. In Mahabharata, I think there are 1 lakh verses. How many? 1 lakh verses. In which 700 verses are what Krishna spoke to Arjuna on the battlefield, which we called as Bhagavad Gita, divine song of the Lord, the God. ठीक है, आगे पढ़िए.
Their discourse, one of the greatest philosophical and religious dialogues known to man, took place just before the onset of war, a great fratricidal conflict between the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, and on the opposing side their cousins and the Pandavas, or sons of the Pandu. Should I continue?
Go ahead.
Dhritarashtra and Pandu were brothers born in Kuru dynasty, descending from King Bharata, a former ruler of the earth, from whom the name Mahabharata derives. Because Dhritarashtra, the elder brother, was born blind, the throne that otherwise would have been his was passed down to the younger brother Pandu.
So Pandavas and Kauravas actually both belong to Kuru dynasty. Both were born in Kuru dynasty. And this dynasty came from whom? Bharata, King Bharata. Okay. Now, ideally, the kingdom should have gone to Dhritarashtra. He was elder son. But because he was blind, the kingdom was given to a younger brother with the name Pandu. Okay? Yes.
Continue?
Yes.
Yeah. When Pandu died at an early age, his 5 children, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva, came under the care of Dhritarashtra, who in effect became, for the time being, the king. Thus, the sons of Dhritarashtra and those of Pandu grew up in same royal household. Both were trained in the military arts by the expert Drona and counseled by the revered grandfather of the clan, Bhishma.
Now, due to some problem, Pandu, after marrying, died at an early age. So he was the king. So there was no king, and children were very small. So Dhritarashtra was made the king for some time, and he was given, he was asked to also nurture and grow children of Pandu, his brother. 5 children. क्या नाम है उनके? कौन बताएगा? Yes, Aishwarya.
Yudhishthir, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva.
Okay, very good. And their mother's name?
Kunti and Madri.
Very good. So Nakul Sahadeva from Madri, and other 3 plus Karna from Kunti. Okay. So आपने महाभारत देखा होगा ना? Yes, आगे पढ़िए.
Yeah. Yet the sons of Dhritarashtra, especially the eldest, Duryodhana, hated and envied the Pandavas, and the blind and weak-minded Dhritarashtra wanted his sons, not those of Pandu, to inherit the kingdom.
So ideally, the sons of Pandu, because they were elder, when they grow up, they should have been given the kingdom. Okay? According to the logic. But Dhritarashtra was very attached to his sons, Duryodhana and his other 100 sons. So he wanted kingdom to be given to
his own sons.
While they don't deserve. But attachment, too much of attachment leads to sinful actions. Remember this. Too much of material attachment, you become blind. Like Dhritarashtra was anyway blind, spiritually also he was blind. Materially and physically and spiritually, both he was blind. Why? Due to excessive attachment to kingdom and his son. Okay. Yes.
Thus, Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra's consent plotted to the kill of young sons of Pandu, and it was only the careful protection of their uncle Vidura and their cousin Lord Krishna that the Pandavas escaped the many attempts against their lives.
So because they knew if when they grow up, they'll become the king of Yudhishthira become the king of this kingdom. So they tried many ways to kill, Pandavas. And every time they tried, Vidur and Krishna came to rescue, all these 5 children. Yes.
Now Lord Krishna was not an ordinary man, but the supreme Godhead himself, who had descended to earth and was playing the role of a prince in a contemporary dynasty. In this role, he was also the nephew of Pandu's wife Kunti, or Pratha, the mother of the Pandavas. So both
So Kunti was sister of Vasudev. Okay, Kunti sister of Vasudev, Krishna is son of Vasudev, and Pandavas are sons of Kunti. So उनका आपस में भी हो गया ना, cousin brothers relationship हो गया. Yeah, and Prabhupada is writing, Krishna was not ordinary person. While he came in this human form, right? Not everybody could see the real truth of he being the Supreme Lord. Only few people had this vision. Why? Why? Can anyone answer this question? Why Krishna was not visible to everybody, but only to a handful of people? Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only my devotees can understand. Who am I? Not everybody. दुर्योधन के सामने खड़े हैं, लेकिन he could not recognize him. है ना? Naham prakashe sarvasya. Krishna says, I don't reveal myself to everyone. कभी लोग पूछते हैं, आपने भगवान को देखा ही क्या? पहले हमको दिखाओ, फिर हम गीता पढ़ेंगे. Have you heard about this kind of question? People ask, हमको पहले भगवान दिखाओ. दिखते हैं क्या भगवान? दिखाओ पहले हमारे को. भगवान कहते हैं मैं मूर्खों को दिखता ही नहीं. I don't reveal myself to foolish people. So even if they want to, I will not reveal myself. Naham prakashe. Avjananti mam mooda. Avjananti matlab they cannot know me. Mam mooda. Foolish people. They can't, understand me. They can't see me. They can't know me. Okay. So there are some qualifications, required to see or feel the existence of presence of Krishna. And the key qualification is what? Devotion. Remember this. Okay. And you can see, now we are just starting Bhagavad Gita. More sincerely you serve Krishna, more revelation you will have of Bhagavad Gita secrets in your life. If you take it lightly, Krishna will also take it very lightly. He says, Yen yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiv bhajamyam. The way you deal with me, the same way I'll deal with you. Okay? If you deal with me with sincerity, I'll deal with you with sincerity. So Krishna's reciprocation is simply a function of our sincerity, nothing else. Making sense?
Yes.
See, it looks like a very normal relationship, no? The same is true even in our material relationships. Yes or no? So it's like any other relationship, but with the Lord. That is the only difference. Yes, आगे पढ़िए.
Yeah. Ultimately, however, the clever Duryodhana challenged the Pandavas to a gambling match. In the course of that fateful tournament, Duryodhana and his brothers took possession of Draupadi, the chaste and devoted wife of the Pandavas, and insultingly tried to strip her naked before the entire assembly of princes and kings. Krishna's divine intervention saved her, but the gambling, which was rigged, cheated the Pandavas of their kingdom and forced them into 13 years of exile.
Yes. So all of you have heard about this, would have seen this in Mahabharata, how Draupadi was disrobed in the assembly, where all such people like Bhishma, Guru Dronacharya, Pandavas, all the sons of Kauravas, they all were sitting, witnessing, right? Draupadi went to everybody practically. First she went to Bhishma Pitama. You're the eldest in the family. How can you see your daughter-in-law being disrobed in front of everyone? Bhishma could not do anything. Dronacharya could not do anything. 5 husbands could not do anything. Finally, Draupadi took shelter of whom? Of whom?
Krishna.
Krishna. No. Wrong. She took shelter of Krishna's holy name. Krishna was in Dwarka.
Yes.
Krishna was not in Hastinapur when this thing happened. She took shelter of the holy name of Krishna, and the holy name saved Draupadi. I have one video. You want to see? Huh? Some real life. Let me see if I can search. I had not planned for it, but let me see if I can show you. What is the message? Sorry. Okay. Just hold on. Let me see if I can find out. I don't know where I have stored this. आप ऑडियो सुन लीजिए. Someone is not coming.
Hare Krishna. My name is Vagisha Devi Dasi and I am disciple of Loknath Swami Maharaj. Today I want to share my experience
You can
of
hear, right?
how I came into Krishna consciousness. I want to share one incident which has happened in my life. Like before getting into this Krishna consciousness, I was not a very good devotee and I did not believe in Krishna at all. My husband used to always talk about Krishna and it used to annoy me because he used to always speak about Krishna and I'm like, why always Krishna? There's like, no enjoyment in life, only Krishna. So I used to get annoyed whenever he used to talk about Krishna. Once it so happened that we were trying to move from one city to another city in USA and my husband was driving all night. At one point, what happened was he lost control of the car and there was a big valley. I was actually 5 months pregnant and I had my 1-year-old in the car seat in the back of the car and we were driving from one city to another city. So suddenly when he lost the control of the car started rolling and it started going off the track and it was going into the valley. When it started going into the valley, the car was like upside down. It was rolling actually. So at that point of time, which is near death experience, I've really experienced it. So what were my thoughts at that point of time? Anything could happen. I could die or he could die or my child could die or anything can happen. I can be handicapped for the rest of my life or my husband could or my son could. Anything could have happened. So anyway, this was felt for a second like the fag end of my life. So I did not believe in God and I used to get annoyed when my husband used to talk about Krishna. At that point of time, what struck me is the person or the God whom my husband believes, Krishna, he used to tell he comes when we are in trouble. If he's really there, if he really can come, maybe he could save us at this point of time, which anyway is going to end now. Because the car was rolling and few meters away from the valley, it could fall and it could crash or anything could happen. So I threw my hands in the air and started calling Krishna. I started calling Krishna. The only words I was saying is Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And after that, I don't know what happened. We were in the valley and the car was upside down and it was pitch dark, not able to see anything. Somebody has seen from the highway and called the ambulance 911 and 2 ambulances came actually. I really don't know whether it's a miracle or what. I could find the way from back and I have taken my baby who was 1 year old, started crawling out. I just came out and I saw it and went and saw what happened to my husband. My husband was in the front seat and he started beating the windshield with his hand and he broke the windshield and he crawled out.
So when three of us came out, me, my husband, and my son, we were lying there for the police, for ambulance to come and help us. So the ambulance finally arrived and we were taken into hospital in two different ambulances. The only question I was asking them is my husband alive? And my husband was asking, is my wife alive? At that point of time, when we went to the hospital, they have checked, is everything okay, everything fine? And we were fine actually, in fact, we were fine. And to check, the baby inside, everything was fine. Surprise thing was, when the police came and asked them, how did you come out of that car? They asked me, where were you? I told I was in the back seat with my son and he was in the car seat. They asked me one question, how did you come out? I said, I got the way and it was open, so I came. They were surprised and they said, no, it was closed. The whole car was closed. The only thing where it was open was in the windshield. And I said, no, I did not come out of windshield. I came from back. How did you come from back? I had no answer because I said it was open. I came. I really did. Then finally realized it was Krishna whom I called. He saved us. And that day I have decided the life which I lived before was for me. And the life after that will be for Krishna.
Life before that was for me and life after that was for Krishna. So it is Krishna's holy name who saved Draupadi. It is Krishna's holy name who saved this Mataji in US. Okay, so if one sincerely, calls Krishna, he does come. Okay, so chanting on the holy name is so important. So we practice how to chant genuinely. We may not learn it from the day one, but gradually we'll learn. Okay, let me go back. Yes, Dharmen Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah. Upon returning from exile, the Pandavas rightfully requested their kingdom from Duryodhana, who bluntly refused to yield it. Duty-bound as princes to serve in the public administration, the 5 Pandavas reduced their request to a mere 5 villages. But Duryodhana arrogantly replied that he would not spare them enough land into which to drive a pin.
So Arjuna and brothers, Pandava, they were Kshatriyas, right? So they can only survive by ruling a kingdom. Duryodhana is not giving the kingdom. So they said, okay, give us small 5 villages, right? So we'll become king of these 5 villages and we'll survive. Even that Duryodhana refused. He said, एक सुई की नोक के बराबर भी जगह नहीं दूंगा, ऐसे बोला उसने. Okay. Then after that, what happened? Go ahead, Dharmen Prabhu.
Yeah. Throughout all this, Pandavas had been consistently tolerant and forbearing, but now war seemed inevitable. Nonetheless, as the princes of the world divided, some siding with the sons of Dhritarashtra, others with the Pandavas, and Krishna himself took the role of messenger for the sons of Pandu and went to the court of Dhritarashtra to plead for peace. When his pleas were refused, war was now certain.
Go ahead.
The Pandavas, men of the highest moral stature, recognized Krishna to be the supreme personality of Godhead, whereas the impious sons of Dhritarashtra did not. Yet Krishna offered to enter the war according to the desire of antagonists. As God, he would not personally fight, but whoever so desired might avail himself of Krishna's army. And on the other side would have Krishna himself as an advisor and helper. Duryodhana, the political genius, snatched at Krishna's armed forces, while the Pandavas were equally eager to have Krishna himself.
So,
in this way,
you may have heard about this. Just before the war, Arjuna and Duryodhana both went to Dwarka to seek Krishna's help. And when first Duryodhana reached, that time Krishna was sleeping, and Duryodhana went and sat along his head. And then Arjuna came, and when he saw Krishna sleeping, he went and sat, near his lotus feet. So Duryodhana is sitting, close to his head, and Arjuna is sitting close to his lotus feet. And then when Krishna woke up, he saw Arjuna first, right? So it's always better to be in front of Krishna than, okay. And then he said Arjuna is younger, so let him first choose whatever he wants. Duryodhana was fighting, no, I came first, so I should get a chance first. But no, he's younger one, so let him. So I saw him first, so let him get a chance to select. So he had two options. Either you can take my Narayani Sena, my soldiers, my army, never defeated, or you take me. You take my opulence, my army, or you take me, and I will not even fight the battle. Now you decide. So Arjuna had a choice to choose army of Krishna or Krishna who is not going to even fight the battle. Arjuna chose Krishna. Most intelligent choice he made. So he was very happy. So he wanted army. He didn't want Krishna. He didn't understand who is Krishna. Right? So he was very happy. Fool number one. He could have asked for army, but he chose Krishna. And that too, who is not going to even fight the battle. So this is the choice we normally make in our day-to-day life also. We have a choice to choose Krishna or the opulence he has given around us. And mostly people choose, like Duryodhana, they choose opulence. Not very intelligent. Right? And Arjuna is very intelligent. Who chose Krishna? Because everything belongs to him. No. Right? If you have Krishna, practically you have everything. Most intelligent choice is to go for Krishna and not go for his, opulence. Right? So finally, in the battlefield, entire Narayani Sena fought on behalf of Kauravas, and Krishna became the charioteer of Arjuna. Go ahead, Raman Prabhu.
In this way, Krishna became the charioteer of Arjuna, taking it upon himself to drive the fabled bowman's chariot. This brings us to the point at which Bhagavad Gita begins. With the two armies arrayed, ready for combat, and Dhritarashtra anxiously inquiring of his secretary Sanjaya, what did they do?
So Dhritarashtra spoke the very first and the only verse by making this inquiry. Dhritarashtra Uvacha. So there is no second verse from them. Then he is only hearing. So what we can learn from Dhritarashtra is how to be a good listener. Right? He asked and then simply listened to what Sanjaya said. And so he displayed a lot of patience and good listening ability, which we don't have. We all know. We want to say first before we listen, but we can learn from Dhritarashtra. Go ahead.
Yeah. The scene is finally set with only the need for a brief note regarding this translation and commentary. The general pattern translators have followed in rendering Bhagavad Gita into English has been to brush aside the person Krishna to make room for their own concepts and philosophies. The history of Mahabharata is taken as quaint mythology, and Krishna becomes a poetic device for presenting the ideas of some anonymous genius, or at best, he becomes a minor historical personage.
So many commentaries, which I was talking about earlier, 650 commentaries, they don't even recognize Krishna as Supreme Lord. So you can understand their understanding. Forget about what they're writing. They don't even understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and they're writing commentary on Bhagavad Gita. So there are many authors like this in today's scenario. They have no idea of spirituality, but they take the courage of writing commentaries on scriptures like Ramayana and Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita. Should we read such commentaries? There is one author who has made Ravan hero and Ram as villain. Have you heard about this book? Yeah. When I was in Indonesia, somebody told me. Because they want to look different. They want to look unique. So let's make Ram as villain and make Ravan as hero. So there's a book on that also. So these are all speculations. So, it is very important to be very selective in terms of what we choose to read. Very, very selective. Don't read any book available on the shelf. Very dangerous. भागवतम में एक श्लोक आता है, वो बताते हैं जैसे दूध को यदि सांप छू ले, if a snake touches milk, that milk does not remain milk, it becomes poison. Similarly, it may be Gita, it may be Bhagavatam, milk, nectar, but if it is spoken by unauthorized person, unbonafide person, it will act like a poison. Instead of guiding you, it'll misguide you. Right? So you have to be very careful in terms of, books you study. Please always test or check whether it comes from an authorized parampara, authorized author or not. Otherwise, don't read. Throw these books out of your house so that nobody else also reads such books and get misguided in his life. Okay, go ahead.
But the person Krishna is both the goal and the substance of Bhagavad Gita, so far as the Gita speaks of itself. This translation then and the commentary that accompanies it propose to direct the reader to Krishna rather than away from him. The Bhagavad Gita thus becomes wholly consistent and comprehensible. Since Krishna is the speaker of the Gita and its ultimate goal as well, Bhagavad Gita as it is presents the great scripture in its true terms.
Thank you very much. So, preface is your homework to read. Okay, couple of pages only. We will not read it here. Introduction, large part I have covered through my earlier presentations. So, preface, introduction, aap padhi. Just run through. Okay. Next week we'll start from chapter number 1. First verse, Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Okay. And next week only we'll try to learn how to chant, because some of the devotees have left already. It was too late. And by that time, everybody should have chanting. Everybody has, chanting beat. Just raise your hand. It's available now. Okay, it's available. Okay, very good. So next week we'll start with chanting also. Maybe 5 minutes for any questions we have or comments we have, then we'll close. Yes, Himamata.
मेरे पास 3 क्वेश्चन है. एक तो हरे का मतलब आपने एक बार बताया था, प्लीज दोबारा बता दीजिए.
Hare is basically, Hara means Radharani. Radharani means energy of the Lord. एक शक्ति होता है, एक शक्तिमान होता है. शक्तिमान कृष्ण है, उनकी शक्ति energy is Radharani. So when we address energy of the Lord, Hara, we address as Hare. So Hare is basically address form of, addressing the energy of the Lord. We'll tell you later when we talk about this next week. Mahamantra is like a prayer. Okay. Addressing whom? Energy of the Lord. Srimati Radharani. Okay.
दूसरा क्वेश्चन ये, जो आपने शुरू में जो मंत्र पढ़े थे, वो कौन सी बुक में? क्योंकि गीता में उसमें से 2-3 ही दे रखे हैं जो मेरे पास में गीता का वर्जन.
हाँ, भगवत गीता में there are 2 forms of Mangalacharan. One is short, one is long. भगवत गीता के इंट्रोडक्शन में आपको शॉर्ट मिल जाएगा. इट्स अवेलेबल इन द इंट्रोडक्शन. सब हैं. तो हम शुरू में शॉर्ट फॉर्म ही करेंगे. आफ्टर वी प्रैक्टिस दिस, देन वी मूव टू द लॉन्ग वन, एंड द शॉर्ट वन इज अवेलेबल इन द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ भगवत गीता.
एक तीसरा क्वेश्चन मेरा ये है कि जैसे कहते हैं कि ये गुह्य ज्ञान है, ये रहस्य वाला है और ये सबको नहीं बताते, तो उनको क्या मालूम था कि विदुर जी भी सुन रहे हैं और सबको पता चल गया है? तो
सॉरी,
विदुर जी भी सुन रहे हैं, जो देख करके वो भगवान कृष्ण जो सब बता रहे हैं अर्जुन को, वो तो विदुर भी सुन रहे हैं,
विदुर
भी रहे हैं. और जी,
विदुर या धृतराष्ट्र, कौन किसकी बात कर रहे हैं?
सॉरी संजय देख रहे हैं और धृतराष्ट्र को बता रहे हैं. बता रहे हैं.
तो आपका प्रश्न क्या है?
मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि क्या भगवान कृष्ण को ये मतलब बीइंग ए लॉर्ड उन्हें पता तो होगा, बट क्या उनको पता था कि संजय भी ये सब देख रहे हैं? और
ऑफ कोर्स
तो संजय ने भी दर्शन किया.
तो देखिए, हमारे में और भगवान में अंतर क्या है? हमारी आत्मा हमारे शरीर में, करेक्ट? सो वी आर कॉन्शियस ओनली ऑफ आवर बॉडी, कि हमारे अंदर क्या हो रहा है, हमारे साथ क्या हो रहा है. आपको पता नहीं मेरे मन में क्या चल रहा है, करेक्ट? और मेरे को पता नहीं आपके मन में क्या चल रहा है. बट कृष्णा इज प्रेजेंट इन एवरीबडी एज परमात्मा. तुमको सब पता है. उनको सब पता है क्या हुआ, उनको पता है क्या हो रहा है, उनको इतना भी पता है क्या होने वाला है. So his perspective or his opinion is hard truth. We're discussing why Krishna's opinion hard truth, because he is omniscient, he knows everything, omnipresent, he is present everywhere. He is supremely conscious and we are conscious of only our body. That too limited. है ना, कोई बीमारी हो तो हमको पता नहीं लगता क्या है, हम जाना पड़ता है डायग्नोस कराने के लिए. We don't know what is happening on stomach. I have to go to doctor and get it diagnosed. But Krishna knows everything. So he knows what is happening here. Yes. Any other question? Okay. So if no more question, then we can close. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. It's almost more than 1.5 hours now. You all have a lot of interest. I can see you're still there. So you'll get rewarded for sure by Krishna. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. So you'll get a small quiz. So you can read preface at least. Okay, preface you can read today, if possible, just 2 pages. Tomorrow, Leena Mataji will send you a quiz. Leena Mataji is a program coordinator. Let me introduce her also. She got connected with me in Colombo when I was in Colombo for last 6 years now. She's connected with me. She worked with, she's MBA in terms of education. She worked with Stock Exchange for quite some time, many years. Now she is in, she was in Colombo, now she's in Malaysia. Her husband is also working there. She has daughter and son. Daughter is doing medical. Leena Mataji, can you please show your video, show your face at least to them. So she will coordinate in terms of all the quizzes and other communications.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So everybody can recognize now Leena Mataji. Very wonderful devotee. She has a lot of flavor for hearing. She is right from the morning. She joins us for Mangala Aarti, Bhagavatam class, then book reading. She's leading a book reading session also every day. And so I'm sure she'll also inspire you different ways how to become a good devotee. Thank you, Leena Mataji. Priti Mataji, yes.
Prabhuji, last time you told us there is a book reading session and you were sending us the link also.
So I was only thinking, actually, उसमें काफी books पढ़ चुके हैं already. My only worry was I wanted you to read from the first book. So what we will do is you can advise me. So everybody has a book. We'll tell you these pages to read, right, yourself over the next maybe 3-4 days, and then we'll send you a quiz so that you know where you are in terms of your understanding. So like this, we'll do book reading. So everybody can read based on convenience also. At the same time, you can also participate in the quiz and see whether you have read properly or not. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Leena Mata, is that okay? Then we can start from the first book, basic book, instead of otherwise miss.
Yes, Prabhuji, okay, but everybody should have the book. That's the only thing.
Everybody should have the book. Neetu, can we share soft copy with them? You will have most of them, na? आपको हिंदी का इंग्लिश का पता नहीं मेरे को. Okay, better you arrange all the books.
Yes, I can. I have the English one also. Hindi
Okay,
one.
ठीक है. So we can send soft copy also. If you don't have the book, you can get access to soft copy. ठीक है. So we have to be a little disciplined in terms of a reading, right? So I cannot, follow up beyond a point with everybody. आपने पढ़ा कि नहीं पढ़ा, आपने पढ़ा कि नहीं पढ़ा. So take responsibility, of your own reading, and we'll ensure that you get a quiz just to check you read it properly or not. ठीक है? All right. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.